All right, let's just dive right into this explainer. We're going to play Cosmic Detective today, trying to solve pretty much the ultimate mystery of our universe. I mean, are we completely alone, or is there someone else out there looking back at us? It's a question that has absolutely defined human curiosity for generations.
We're actually starting with this simple, innocent little quote from a Pinkfong children's song. Have you seen my alien? Why won't you play with me? And you know, it perfectly captures that deep, almost lonely desire humanity has to just find a friend out there in the dark. It's such a natural human instinct to look out into the vastness of space and just hope for a playmate. But, mathematically speaking, should we really be feeling this lonely?
Well, take a second to wrap your head around this number. 1 trillion. That massive figure represents the estimated number of Earth-like planets just in the visible universe. By combining data from the Hubble Space Telescope's count of 100 billion galaxies with the Kepler mission's planet-hunting data, scientists have definitively proven there is plenty of room for life to exist. The real estate is absolutely out there.
Okay, moving on to our eyes and ears. To actually find our missing playmates among those a trillion worlds, we first need to examine the incredibly powerful tools we use to look and listen for clues. We aren't just squinting up at the sky with our naked eyes anymore. We've built some literal technological marvels to pierce the cosmic veil.
Our $10 billion James Webb Space Telescope is a perfect example. It uses different infrared cameras to essentially cut right through cosmic dust. It uses the near-infrared camera to see these vast, swirling planetary nebulas, and then the mid-infrared instrument looks straight through those thick clouds to actually witness the dying stars right at their center. It's just mind-blowing.
But here's the thing. We aren't just taking pretty pictures. Using instruments called spectrographs, we can literally measure the light that gets blocked by an exoplanet's atmosphere to confirm the presence of water, which is, of course, the most essential clue for life. By analyzing the light curve from a planet called WASP 96b, scientists knew exactly which wavelengths were blocked, proving for sure that water vapor exists on a world 1,150 light-years away. Incredible, right?
We can even build a mathematical case for all of this using the famous Drake equation. Formulated way back in 1961, this equation basically organizes our ignorance by multiplying astronomical factors like the fraction of stars with planets with biological ones. But the biggest and most terrifying unknown here is L, the longevity of a civilization before it destroys itself. We simply do not know if technological adolescents like us generally survive long enough to make contact.
So let's talk about messages in a bottle. Because instead of just passively listening to the static of the universe, humanity has also been actively leaving clues and calling cards in the cosmic ocean. We want to be found just as badly as we want to find others.
But when you think about it, look at how incredibly long it took Voyager 1, which, by the way, is traveling over 60,000 kilometers per hour, just to cross the threshold of our solar system's heliosphere and enter interstellar space. It took 35 years just to cross that threshold, officially making it the man-made object furthest from Earth. Space is just unimaginably huge.
Now, strapped to those Voyager spacecraft is the Golden Record. It's a 12-inch gold-plated copper disc, and it's basically this incredibly optimistic time capsule representing the absolute best, most peaceful version of human culture and biology. There are no images of war or poverty on there. Instead, it's got greetings in 55 languages, 115 encoded images of Earth, the music of Bach and Mozart, and even the sounds of Earth's volcanoes and human laughter. They even went so far as to include encoded audio waveforms that can be converted back into images of our DNA and brainwaves.
NASA designed these messages as a kind of spiritual insight into our species, hoping that whoever finds them will understand our innocent curiosity. We essentially sent out the ultimate cosmic greeting card, detailing our exact address in the universe, in hopes someone would eventually read it.
Which brings us to the eerie cosmic silence. Because despite our trillions of potential planetary neighbors and all those messages we've cast into the void, the response has been, well, deeply unsettling. This brings us right to the Fermi paradox, which is kind of the ultimate twist in our detective story. It asks a brilliantly simple question. If the universe is so vast and 14 billion years old, which gives plenty of time for ancient empires to rise and spread, where is everybody? Why is it so quiet? We should literally be seeing evidence of them everywhere. We have had a few tantalizing clues, though, like the famous 72-second wow signal back in 1977. Detected by a volunteer at the Big Ear radio telescope, it was exactly the kind of intense, narrow-band signal we would expect from an alien intelligence. But here's the frustrating part.
Despite decades of pointing our radio telescopes at the exact same spot in Sagittarius, we have never, ever heard it again. So when the Kepler data shows us that 1 in 5 stars has a planet that could potentially support a liquid ocean, the silence from those billions of worlds becomes absolutely deafening. With tens of billions of Earth's cousins just in our Milky Way galaxy alone, the complete lack of any confirmed radio signals forces us to ask some very uncomfortable questions. Which leads us down a terrifying rabbit hole to the dark forest theory. This is a philosophical solution that explains exactly why our cosmic playmates might be hiding. And prepare yourselves, because the implications here change absolutely everything. Brilliant minds like Stephen Hawking have starkly warned us against shouting into the dark. He feared that an advanced civilization might view us as nothing more than a resource to be mined. He famously argued against active SETI, which is the practice of intentionally broadcasting our location out to the stars.
Let's break down the logic here, because it is brutal. If you can't know a distant alien's true intentions due to massive communication delays of light years, the only mathematically safe move is to eliminate them before they eliminate you. I mean, think about it. Because light takes years to travel between stars, any conversation involves looking into the past. You can never truly know if the civilization on the other end is peaceful right now.
And because of those vast distances, a massive sci-fi invasion fleet might actually become completely obsolete by the time it arrives. So instead, a paranoid neighbor could just launch a relativistic kill vehicle. Basically, they accelerate a mass to 95% the speed of light, striking our planet with the force of all Earth's nuclear bombs combined, all before we even saw it coming.
Therefore, the dark forest theory posits that the universe isn't empty at all. It's just filled with two types of civilizations: the quiet ones, who know better, and the dead ones. In this scenario, survival demands absolute silence. Any species that reaches a high level of technology quickly learns that broadcasting your existence is just an invitation to be destroyed by a paranoid neighbor.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final, chilling thought to ponder the next time you look up at the night sky. If the universe really is a dark forest, are we just the innocent child calling out to play, completely unaware of the hunters waiting in the shadows? Have our gold and records and radio signals doomed us? Or will we eventually find that friendly community of explorers we've always dreamed of? The truth is out there, but for now, maybe the wisest thing we can do is just keep carefully listening.